It's nice to see the Huskers get a nice win at
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Everybody in the office had our phones kind of listening to it and or watching it probably, but so
I
yeah,
couldn't get to
both
watch it, but I at least listened to it. And
kind of listening
I have a friend that used to work for Kelly Bean here. He moved to Oklahoma City, and he called me this morning and said, "There is so much red walking the streets right now." He said he just rolled his window and down and yelled, "Go Big Red," and got a lot of cheers. So
That's
I
cool.
that's
bet.
kind of neat. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the women played well last night. I did
Yep.
watch that one kind
Yeah.
of. So,
Yeah. I saw that one. Yeah.
yeah, though I was a little nervous when they gave up that first half lead. So,
They rallied.
they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did indeed. So, well, we'll let everybody start joining here. So, right now the temperature outside it says is 81
It's only
here.
78 here.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, it's
supposed to
supposed
be
to be.
92 on Saturday.
I know.
That's
That's
crazy.
We have a family get together of sorts Saturday, and I'm like, my closet still is winter. So, yeah, 91 here
Okay.
for Saturday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. I'm going to go into hiding now.
Oh, you can stay on camera all you want, Val.
I, I don't want to
Don't
scare anybody away.
track is going well for the granddaughter.
Yeah, she has her first meet coming up here, and but her second meet she's more excited about. She'll get to run the steeplechase, and that's her favorite. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what is wrong with that girl? That's
I
a hard
I've been
race.
I've been wondering that for years.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's a
no, not my
competitor.
thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so, well, I see we've got a couple joining us. Tish and Haley have joined us. So, and Aubrey is in the process of joining us. So I think clerk school has decreased our numbers a little bit today. Um, all the clerks in the state are, is it Kearney or Grand Island? Where is it, Sherry? Do you remember?
It's either Lincoln or Omaha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Sharon is there this afternoon presenting on nuisance abatement to the
Okay.
clerks this afternoon.
That shows you how much I've paid attention. I didn't even know where it was. So, but yeah, we typically, if you're new and joining us, as we prepare for our start at 2 o'clock, we will maybe have a warm-up question. And today is a one I'm recycling, but what's one thing you've crossed off of your bucket list? So feel free to open your microphone and tell us what that answer is, or put it in the chat box with your name. Um, Tell us what something, one time I asked and a gal had climbed the mountains in, I forget, South America somewhere. So that was kind of an interesting and wonderful bucket list. Okay. We will begin at 2 o'clock. So take advantage of the time. Let us know you're here and let us know what you've crossed off of your bucket list. Felt kind of summery out today, so I chose a fun bucket picture.
Mm.
I don't know if any of you had seen the Husker men win an NCAA tournament
Okay.
game, but doubt that that was on anybody's bucket list, but you never know.
Stranger things have happened.
True.
Maybe not. This is the first time. So my alma mater, which was D2 when I was there, this week beat UT. We beat Texas in baseball. And I don't follow baseball, but I thought it was kind of funny that Tarleton beat Texas. So
Yeah. The men and women's baseball and softball teams are doing well this year at UNL. I don't know about Creighton's baseball team, but or the other colleges and universities, but okay. So as you begin to join us, welcome, and we'll be starting shortly, but let us know something that you've crossed off of your bucket list, or maybe you need to start a bucket list. That would be me. So just let's get acquainted by answering that question or just saying hello with your microphone. We'd love to hear from you.
My future bucket list is I want to see Prince William coronated as king. Wouldn't that be a hoot?
That would. I can still recite all of his first and middle names because when he was born, there was some contest, radio station, William Arthur Philip Lewis, and it was the call name of that radio station, their letters. And so just the random stuff that my brain retains. So if that question ever comes up on a trivia night, I got it. Would you go to the coronation, Denise?
Oh, heck yes. But my
Okay.
husband hates crowds, so I'd probably have to take a friend.
Okay. Understand. And for the record, I can still recite the, what is it? Quarter pounder, 2 all beef patties, special sauce, less cheese. I can recite that backwards still.
I thought you were going to say the preamble to the Constitution.
Oh, no. I need to probably review that and maybe recite it a few times, but yeah, we
It's
are
easier to
at
retain
2
useless
o'clock.
information, I think.
Pardon me?
It's easier to retain useless information.
Yes. So I would say my government geography high school classes were probably not that interesting back in the day. So, but yeah, so we are at 2 o'clock. We'll give everybody just another minute to get joined. So I'm seeing some new names and faces. So welcome to all of you. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day today to join us. Okay, Bev, welcome. I see you're in the chat box. So
Hey.
did I hear somebody?
It was me, Bev, telling you hi.
Hi, Bev. Thanks for taking time. So, okay, it is 2:01. I am saying let's get started on this beautiful day here in Nebraska. It's hard to remember that it's March with the weather we've been experiencing, but so welcome and thank you to all of you for joining us. Can I just step out of HomeNE for just a moment and say, how about those Huskers? Both last night, the women and the men just a little bit ago for winning their tournament games in the NCAA tournament. So none of my family is a UNL alum, but we still follow them. So just wanted to give a shout out to all of you Husker fans who might be joining us today. You probably were listening to that game as well. So my name is Lori Ferguson and welcome to the March edition of the HomeNE Learning Network. I am a community consultant here at South Central Economic Development District in Holdridge. Our organization, which we often refer to as SCED, is the lead agent for HomeNE, which is a statewide learning network designed for people from all across Nebraska. So Sherry has put up on our screen what HomeNE's purpose is, and I'll just kind of let you read those to yourself, but we want to provide you every opportunity that we can to have both online as well as face-to-face interaction with other people who are passionate about housing in your community. It is a key and crucial issue that we address all of the time, and we want to help you along in any way we can as you seek to solve your own housing challenges and seek out solutions. So we want to encourage all of you today. If you hear something from our speaker or see somebody on the screen that you want to connect with, feel free to do so. And then I'm going to circle back, but I have a question there on your slide. How are we doing in achieving our purpose as a learning network? And we're going to come back to that question before we conclude today. So HomeNE was established in 2017, and we continue to learn and grow right alongside of you. So our guest today is Denise Wilkinson. She is a regional navigator for the Northeast region of our 6 regions, 1 Nebraska. Is it a network, organization? How do you describe 6 regions, 1 Nebraska, Denise?
I'll go through that.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
unique.
So before she officially starts her presentation today, I'm going to just ask her to tell us a little bit more about herself, her role as a navigator, and whatever she feels free to share with us. So Denise, welcome. I appreciate what you're doing for us today. I've enjoyed getting to know her the last few weeks, and I'm looking forward to her presentation. So welcome, Denise, and I'll let you kind of introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for taking time out on this really nice day where we could be taking a walk. I'm from Illinois originally. I served in government there, working for the city as the city clerk and tourism coordinator. I owned my own business for 10 years. My family owned it for 50. And I've been chamber president in Norfolk and Sydney. So I've got kind of a wide array of knowledge. And 6 regions, 1 Nebraska. It's a statewide initiative created to bring regions together to address workforce challenges. It's supported through partnerships with the Governor's Office, Nebraska Department of Economic Development, and the Nebraska Chamber. So our goal was simple: to empower our regional leaders to solve regional workforce problems. We want the communities to work together. So how would we do this? Next slide. So the group, the chamber, DED, and the governor's office separated the navigators, there's 6 navigators, into their college district regions. So I am the Northeast Regional Navigator with 20 counties. The funding for this, it's a 3-year program, came through the American Rescue Plan Act. So we have 3 years to really make a difference in the region. Next. So 6 regions, 1 Nebraska is community directed, action oriented, and partnership driven. Through our discussions with our regional leaders, we have been meeting since August of 2024. There was 2 priorities that came out. That was leadership development for elected officials and housing development across the region. Now you might think I'm going to elaborate just a bit on the leadership. You know, it's unfunded, so it was difficult, but we understand that these decisions in housing, workforce, community development can't be made without informed and knowledgeable and confident leaders. So we have started a leadership academy in partnership with Northeast Community College and UNL Extension. We'll open our first academy in April 28th of this year. And Governor Pillen is coming to open this session to speak about the challenges and what he would like to see for his elected officials coming in, because we know it's a tough job. So I'm here today to talk about the housing project. So the Northeast region, we've received $200,000 in the rescue plan funding. Not a lot of money to make a difference, but it really helped make a start. We developed a strategy that makes it easier to identify housing needs, available resources, development opportunities, and local partners. The goal is to simplify the process for developers, contractors, and community leaders who want to build or rehab housing in rural Nebraska. So the regional leaders decided on a 3-step method. Our first step, we needed to obtain housing information from each community, including housing studies, vacant properties, gaps, building codes, zoning code barriers, and needs based on the results of the individual community focus group meetings. We needed to include resources for assistance programs. How many people don't know how to even begin? Let's provide success stories so people have mentors and inspiration to see that others can do it. Highlight innovative housing methods and include internship and apprenticeship programs on building trades. This is a high demand career. And I know from my experience, when my kids were growing up, it was like, got to do that for a year, got to do that for a year. Let's kind of change our mindset, because a 2-year program in the trades is a very good career. So we contracted with JEO Consulting, and their work included reviewing the existing housing studies. We didn't want to have to do housing studies through the whole county because the money would be depleted very rapidly. We wanted to identify zoning and regulatory barriers, conduct regional focus groups, compile housing needs by county, and identify vacant properties and development opportunities. This work created the data foundation for our entire project. So what are we going to do with this stuff? We need all this information is being organized into a public website hosted by the Northeast Nebraska Development Network. We contracted with Anna Meese, who owns Creative Revolution, to create this website. Northeast Nebraska Development Network is an organization of economic and community leaders in Northeast, and they have been established for years. They had a website, but it's managed by volunteers. It was hard to keep up with it. So we approached them and asked them if we could use their website for our housing program, and they agreed. This establishes a permanent home for the housing information. We have obtained a separate grant to maintain the website, providing updates for a period of 3 years. This allows the network time to budget for that expense in the long run. The website is bilingual, centralized housing information hub. Provides information on assistance programs, resources, internships, apprenticeship programs, and building trades. We highlighted success stories in the region with videos to inspire and provide mentors, and JEO provided the data on the housing needs, opportunities, gaps, and barriers by county. Let's see. So here are the domain names. If you have a separate screen, I would recommend you pull up. The link is at the bottom. If you don't, we will visit the website, but we're going to just kind of do a really quick overview. I would really like you to go back to that website later because it has a lot of information we're just skimming over. So let's go to the website. Oh, great. Okay, we're going to start on the landing page. It's the Why Here page. This is a general introduction to housing resources in Northeast Nebraska. Most of the information provides a link to the actual site, so the information is always current. It's not feasible for us to keep up with all this information. So if we just click on some of these, let's click on area workforce and demographics. And did you want to go to Phelps County? This gives you all the demographics for that county. This is super helpful for builders and developers looking to even manufacturing and people looking to move their companies. Okay, then if you go down, we have job seekers. You can go to that's okay. The other one is just a link to the Nebraska HomeNE Works page. Anybody looking for a position in Nebraska? A business climate. Let's go to business incentives. This section provides broad resources, not just related to housing, but for any community or economic development program, including, micro enterprise assistance programs, small business innovation, CDBG grants, opportunity zones. What I really like on this too is the resource section. How many of you have had to fill out an Amplifund grant? If you're on this call, you're probably in economic development or government. It's not easy. Can you imagine being a developer builder and just trying to navigate that? So that offers some technical assistance and at least somebody to call for help. We understand doing this. We're trying to make your barriers, to break the barriers, to make it easier. So let's try the Go to Build Housing tab. This is kind of the meat of the website. The first one I'm going to stop on is this video. This is a video highlighting Northeast Community College Trades Program. This is not to encourage just the students, but parents and teachers, how the trades is a great career choice. This program includes not only construction, but heating and air conditioning, plumbing, drafting, designing, electrical, and after the first year, the student has to have an apprenticeship job with a local builder. So they get that hands-on experience to know that what the job is really going to be like. So if you don't mind, we're going to click on that video real quick. They're short. Can you guys hear?
No, there's no sound.
I'm sorry. It is difficult. So thank you, Sherry, for trying to do this.
Playing videos through our HomeNE live web stream is often very difficult.
Oh,
Too many live things at one time.
It worked this morning when we did it. It worked Tuesday when we did it. So I'm not sure why it's not working today now.
It is a quality video. I would just encourage everybody to go back and take a look at it if we don't get it running here in the next few seconds. The joys of live broadcasting.
while they're trying to pull that video up, I'll just tell you it gives testimonials from the instructors and most importantly, the students. That's was the president of the Home Builders Association talking about how valuable this training has
Did you
been
hear
for
it
the home
then?
builders.
No? Okay. I can't get it to work, Denise. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We've got a couple more. Maybe they'll work.
These programs are full every year.
So it's just really encouraging students to look at their careers differently. It's a 2-year program. Once you get out, you're going to have a job because you've already interned with somebody through the summer and you're going to make a decent living. So it was very very inspiring. So let's go on down to the community partnerships. So if we click on Cumming County here, this section connects developers and builders directly with city and village contacts, economic development organizations, and local leaderships. This helped developers quickly identify who to talk to. You know, we don't realize because we do this all the time. This is difficult for people to navigate. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible. So if we go back to education and workforce, down at the bottom, perfect. When we pull this up right now, it will come to just Norfolk. But if you look at the top lines, it says home, our area. You can go to the whole entire Northeast Nebraska region. This is a link, so it's updated frequently. This section will highlight apprenticeships, trade education opportunities, and workforce training programs. There is also a section on that other page for public transportation because a lot of people need public transportation to keep their position in a job. So if we go back to the second, this is the area that JEO provided the content for. I created a county level housing snapshots. They include housing shortages, development opportunities, zoning regulations, and vacant property information. What was important too is we took our 20 county region and separated into zones because we know the needs in maybe Madison County is a lot different than in Wheeler County. So in that focus group, if you want to click on that area, let's go to zone 2. They went through who was there, what was asked, and then the general themes that came out. Of course, you probably know this already. The biggest challenges identified were affordable and available housing, rising construction costs, financing barriers, aging housing stock, and limited rental options. There is a lot in this website. Like I said, I would really encourage you to visit and do a deep dive. And at the bottom of that housing focus groups, we're not going to click on it, but there is an executive summary of the entire focus group of all. So if we go down to interactive housing map, this website includes the map where they can click on a county and view housing demand, zoning requirements, vacant property maps, and development opportunities. So let's just hit on Holt County. So if we go to their county, I keep running to use my mouse. I don't know why. If I go to the county housing snapshot, it gives a summary of the needs, the demographics, the vacant housing, owner, occupied, income, just that quick information so somebody could find information about that county and make decisions of whether it's a good fit for their project. So if we go down in that area, we have a separation by the county with the cities. So you have City of O'Neill. Just hit on that. We're not going to go through any of them, but they show on theirs the comprehensive plan for the city, zoning regulations, municipal codes, and their vacant property map. So if we go back again, let's try Dakota County. It's got a little more information. And we scroll down to City of South Sioux. This includes local housing information. They have an updated housing study, the subdivision regulation, municipal codes, and I know it's a hot topic now is vacant properties. So let's go to the vacant property map. They're showing 308 vacant parcels and placement of those parcels. So this information is going to be very, very important. So let's go back to build housing. So this area is connect with city officials. Again, they need to find a place for the county, city, villages, and economic development leaders. It's listed by county, and then every town is listed under that county. In this section, this is also the same information that's on the third tab called the Our Region tab that we're just going to skip because it's redundant. But we wanted to put the information out there a couple times so people can find what they're looking for. The funding sources. This is a great tool. This section was filled with content from our action team leaders. And I have to say, of Chris Rasmussen, if you're on the call, she was at the time at DED Housing, and she provided a ton of information for this site. This is one of the most valuable sections of the website. It provides a short summary of the programs. Then you can click to get details. The program includes down payment assistance, purchase rehab resale programs, housing innovation programs, energy efficiency, development incentives. I know one that everybody is interested in is Nebraska Affordable Housing Trust Fund. So there is a short summary. This is what it's going to cover. So somebody's going to say, oh, do I apply? Should I? What is this for? and then they could learn more and get more details. So let's go out of that and we'll try another one. Let's do demolition and environmental cleanup. This is all the grants, the type of cleanup. And if you'll notice, South Central Economic Development District is down there as a resource for nuisance abatement information. So this is going to give, you and developers and community leaders something to go from, where to find information to make a difference. There is a lot of information on this site. I even like the innovative housing. We've got some on Lightform, which uses, I can't even describe it, but it's a little higher cost for the construction, but you make it up in insurance and energy costs. It's we would tour the factory in South Sioux. Is really, really interesting. There's a whole video on them under the video section and also information here. There's also tiny homes, which is a bigger thing in Lincoln than it is in rural Nebraska, but probably coming. Are there any questions while I'm going through this so quickly? If there is, just say something or put it in the chat. We'd be glad to.
I'm not
Talk.
seeing anything in the chat box, Denise. I did share the link of the website, so people can maybe follow along as we go as well. So, but yeah, feel free to ask any questions of Denise, enter those in the chat box, and we'll share those with her at the conclusion of her presentation.
So we decided to spend a portion of this money highlighting success stories in our 20 county region. And it was a lot of work, but you know what? It was inspiring. I was shocked of how people can just get together that have absolutely no experience in economic development and really make a difference. Now, this first video I was going to try to play, and I hope it can, is Cumming County. Now, David Branch is an economic development person in Cumming County. Hopefully, if we can hear. So that's probably not going to work out, but I'll just let you know, David, he has had over 147 projects with 2.7 million in housing renovation. He has done a great job. So, and David, if you know him, he's the kind of guy you could call him up and ask him for help, and he'd help you in a minute. It was all rehab, owner-occupied rehab. Another one that is just wonderful, this Petersburg. Petersburg has a population of 330 people. There is a group of leaders, not economic development, not in government. They wanted to do something for housing. So they formed the Petersburg Economic Development Corporation. They bought some land themselves. Working with the village, they've built 22 homes in the past 10 years. Now, that's a town of 330. That's a lot of homes. And like Doug said in the video, those 22 homes make a huge difference in the economy. Those 20 families, 22 homes. Oh, I was reading the chat. They made a big difference in Petersburg. So it just shows people work together, they can make it happen. I really would encourage you to see these videos. Some of the other ones, I know you have talked to Stuart before. Not only is Stuart doing great things in their village, but they've helped other people, and they are always open and willing to help. That go down here is the Lightform, telling exactly the innovative housing solutions. There's just some great ones here. This, if you'll stop, the one here, the two ladies, Spencer Community Economic Development. I love this story. These two older ladies, they got upset because they were losing their grocery store in Spencer. So they said, hey, we're going to do something. So they started a fundraising, they got some grants, and they saved their grocery store. Then they thought, hey, if we can do that, let's do something with housing. So they started Spencer Community Economic Development. It's now a group of 7 ladies, and over the last 10 years, they have constructed 3 new houses. They knew absolutely nothing about economic development, applying for grants, DED, any resources, but working together, they're making a difference. If you go down, you've had Ben Conover on before, and all these can be seen on the HomeNE webinar, correct, too? Their exact stories.
Yes, that's correct.
So here is our important step 3. If we go down to the bottom of this. Oh, wait, I forgot this one here with, go up just a little bit, please. I'm sorry. It was in Wayne, Nebraska. It talks about the city using TIF for housing development. That's a big thing now. There's a lot of, people for and a lot of against. And I want at least the right information to get out there. So he has a great story on use of TIF. This is step 3. I hope you've heard of it. It's the Spark Developer Academy. This website, this is where you will be able to apply for the Spark Developer Academy. In Norfolk, we're holding it July 27th through the 31st. This turns all this data into action. So Angela Smith at Spark has presented to your group in the past, and all this information again is on the HomeNE webinars. Spark has made a huge impact on housing in Omaha, and we are just thrilled that they're moving to the Northeast region. So we're going to go back to the PowerPoint now, but I really encourage you to delve into that website on your own. Let's go ahead to the next one. Spark Academy is going to train developers, contractors, community leaders, economic development professionals. What they're going to learn is real estate finance, zoning and development processes, housing funding sources, and project planning and construction management. So you see how our data from GIEO, our website information has all come to culmination in the Spark Developer Academy. I didn't know about them, but we did a little research, and the next slide shows their success in Omaha. They have only started in 2020, and they've had 98 graduates, 39 million in grant funding, 1.6 million in land acquired, and 1,000 units created. So we are really thrilled to have them. It's they sell out. I don't know if you put it that way. They are full in Omaha and have to turn people away. We met today, just saying, with the advisory committee for the Norfolk class. And if you are going to the NIFA conference, I strongly recommend you stop at the Spark table and speak to Angela about the academy. I would truly recommend doing it in your area too. The applications for the Norfolk Academy open May 1st and in June 10th. They can apply from the website. So next slide. This is an intensive week-long training. They usually max out at 30 emerging developers. The modules include overview of a development process, the role of the developer, budget and cash flow, that's huge, sources and uses of funds, bank loans, financing, construction management, property management, home buyer resources, local market context and resources. So on the next slide, it builds a network of panelists, mentors, and support. I know right now for our Norfolk class, we are filling it with local people who understand what our economy is here and the needs, and they will provide mentors for these participants. Excuse me. On next slide, the Norfolk one was paid for by the Rescue Plan Act Fund. So, but we worked with Cumming County and Dakota County, obtained grants and community contributions. And there will be a Spark Development Academy in Cumming County in spring 2027 and Dakota County in fall of 2027. Now that's the end of mine, but I wanted to give you kind of an update. Here is our navigator team and the amount of counties they represent. I know Dina Beck is on the call now. She is doing a great job in Central. Everybody is doing really great with the small amount of time and funding we had. So the next slide shows the projects they have prioritized. And most of them are housing. There's a lot of childcare. Northeast and Southeast have kind of the same with the leader mind shift. I would strongly recommend that you talk to Dina sometime. Her childcare project is really successful and so simple. It's just, it's really amazing. So, we understand that there's housing challenges. They're not going to be solved in Lincoln and Washington. It's going to take you, the local leaders, the builders, and the partnerships to make a difference. So what we wanted to provide was the data, the tools, and the connections to help make those housing solutions. And if there's anything else you guys would think we should add, we are open to it. The Elected Leader Academy is accepting applications until April 8th. And the Spark Academy, like I said, will be open May 1st. But yeah, come see us at NIFA. Actually, David Branch will be a panelist talking about rehab at NIFA on that first day. I think it's Tuesday. So my slide next is just my contact information. I would love to hear from you if you have any questions, would like to be a part of our action teams. And please go back and watch the videos. They are inspiring. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. And thanks to Sherry and Lori for putting up for all the moving parts of this presentation.
Sure, not a problem, Denise. So we're going to open it up to questions for you. If people have some thoughts or want to know more information, I encourage you to open your microphone or put those in your chat box. And we'll be sure and give those to her. I do have a question from Leanne. Have you had success for stories that focused there in your area with developers willing to build to smaller scale multifamily rentals in rural communities beyond single family homes?
We've had some, but not a lot. That's something we hope to cover in the Developer Academy to get more information and the need-based. When we're looking at some of these smaller rural towns too, Norfolk just built a 144 unit apartment building. Not all places can do that. So we're trying to customize it by our county needs.
Okay. Good.
And I know all of you're not in the Northeast region. That's why I wanted to put the other navigators up there. I would strongly recommend, if you haven't been involved in 6 regions, that you contact your navigator, because they are doing some great work and it's going to make a difference.
Okay. I know Dina and Zane are on. I don't know if Tasha and Emily are with us today, but give a shout out to them. They are available here. So yeah, what questions do you have for Denise? You mentioned the Leadership Academy. Is that for anybody in the state? Is that specifically for the Northeast region?
Well, we're having our first one in Norfolk, and we kind of targeted within a 60-mile radius just because we didn't want to have people incur the mileage and hotel costs, because it's bad enough when you're elected officials. It's probably not your prime job. You could not make it. So we've had a second one planned. In South Sioux will be in 2027, and O'Neill will be in 2027. And Zane is on with us. So, his region is also looking to put an Elected Leader Academy in that session. So some of his people are going to come to see ours. It is the first session is 8 hours, April 28th, and then they meet quarterly, June, September, and December for 3 hours. We provided a network opportunity in 2 of those. They can stay, but I know going to the city clerk's conference, I learned a lot of things after the classes and talking to my peers.
Okay. And Zane is what area again?
Southeast.
Okay. Okay. So good. So what questions do you have? I always have a couple, but I want to give you every opportunity to present questions.
I have a couple too.
Sure,
But if
Dina,
other-
go ahead.
I have access to Denise, so I can ask her this anytime, but to see this presentation really makes me just think a little deeper about it. So great work, Denise, and your action teams up there. I'm wondering how hard it was to get contractors to sign up for the academy. And then I really hope that, I love data, like if you're collecting some information from them, kind of a baseline of their knowledge or experience connections, and then again when they get out and using that as a tool to recruit the next round. So kind of a two-part question. How was it difficult to recruit people to participate? And then when they're going to have to pay for it, what's going to be the strategy?
Well, it's interesting you say that because we haven't started yet. Omaha sells out. It's Omaha. They have a lot more, bigger population. Fremont, which is their first one too, they just started to recruit. They have 35 signed up already. Now, it is a big commitment. It is $500 and it is an intensive week-long training. But with those results and we've had students come in and speak to our advisory committee talking about what a difference this have made in their journey. So I don't think we're going to have problems recruiting.
Okay, Dina, did you have a second question?
No, but I will too be curious if they're the same instructors teaching in Omaha and Fremont and
Oh,
then
no.
coming to, okay.
No, everything is toward it's local.
Okay.
Local. So like we're having local bankers, local panelists, local economic developments. Now they do have some regular instructors for certain things that can go across the board, but we understand our difference is a lot different than Omaha, our housing market. So no, it's all individualized to our area and O'Neill and South Sioux. And
If
hopefully, Minden someday.
If anybody wants to know more about Spark, we did have Angela speak on our HomeNE webinar in February of 2025. Thanks to Leanne for checking that out and finding that date. So Spark is really about bringing people interested in being a developer to the table and bringing those hands-on people to a community or a region and giving them the tools and resources and perhaps the kickstart that they need. So if that's something that's lacking in your community, that would be a great resource to check out and look into more. So good. So,
And she will also, Angela says she's having a table at NIFA.
yeah,
So
yeah.
stop by there for some conversation.
Okay. So, and for those who maybe aren't familiar with NIFA, Denise, do you want to give us a 30-second on what NIFA is?
Ooh. Okay, well, NIFA is going, I'm assuming it passes, be going to take over DED housing. So they will be a big player in your community because this is where you're going to go now for your housing. So I went to it last year. It was one of the best conferences I've ever been to, and I would strongly recommend if you are in economic development, community development, that you do attend. Dina, you have any other input on NIFA? Or Zane? As you can tell, the navigators work pretty well together.
It's Nebraska Investment Finance Authority. And like Denise said, they're kind of gearing up to take over all the state housing resources. So you think Rural Workforce Housing Fund, Middle Income Housing Fund, those types of things. They'll be taking over the administration and distribution of those various funding programs. Good job, Denise.
And that's coming up in April, I believe, April 14th and 15th in Lincoln at the Embassy Suites. So something to check out and register for if you're interested in attending that conference. So, yeah. So what else is coming to mind? Takeaways, comments in general.
Anybody have any comments on the Elected Leader Academy? I think that's interesting. Sometimes I get the old eye roll. But you know, the League of Municipalities does a great job, but not everybody can afford. Towns, villages, smaller cities can't afford to take that time off and expend the hotel and travel. I'd love to show you our agenda. I'll have to send it to you. We have some great topics picked out, and it's based on our survey from existing elected officials. We've got over 100 people that put in what they wanted to know before they went to serve, and that's where our curriculum came from.
Do you know off the top of your head a couple of the topics, Denise?
Oh, sure. Hold on.
When you were talking about it, what Sharon often says comes to mind, and Sharon is not with us today. She's at the clerk school. She's a presenter there. So, but you know, we often talk about our local elected officials. They have so much responsibility, but being that elected official, especially in a small community, is just such a small part of their daily life. They have their own businesses or jobs and family, and so it's hard to maybe be as in the know as you should be as an elected official. So what do you have on your agenda?
Oh, it's and you know, I was in Illinois elected official, a clerk was an elected official. So I won and I was dumped. I'm like, I don't even know the Open Meetings Act. So there's a lot of things. We start with ethics and public service. You know, that we're going to do a mock press conference. So how to handle questions from media and your citizens when they come to the council meetings. And then just stuff like government processes, Robert's rules. Zane is actually participating and he's going to do a simulation of what was it? Tell me, Zane, about your communication and leadership in a crisis. It happened in Seward and he is a Seward councilman. So
Yep,
real
good.
life experience.
Okay, good. Sounds interesting and very, very important and informative. So if somebody has the time to go, they sure could. Yeah, good. Okay. So this is a regional website, but it's also statewide. So how can somebody, excuse me, in Benkelman take advantage of your website, Denise?
Just click on the link. I mean, the information. Now we do have the housing data is the 20 county region, but you know, you got access to Lois in that site, all the resources in for the state and federal. So it's just not for Northeast. There's just that section that's Northeast.
Okay, okay. I'm
And I
not
think
seeing-
you,
Uh-huh, go ahead.
Denise, I think that website, I love the statistics and all that stuff, but really those videos, they're so powerful and anybody can do that in their area. I mean, you have Brian Krackemeyer, who's brilliant, but just the importance of having real people talk about their experiences is very powerful.
That it was inspiring. I really had no idea. It was it was great. So yes, I would strongly recommend viewing the videos.
Yeah. And I will testify to the group that those were working during the practice session. So Sherry was doing a phenomenal job navigating through the website for us today. And so they are. I did watch a couple and they are high quality and very credible and informational. So take a look at those. So I'm not seeing anything in the chat box. So I have one final question for Denise, unless you all just have a question, wave at me or hurry and put something in the chat box. But my last question for Denise is, what is one more piece of advice or item you want to share with our group today? Maybe a takeaway, maybe an encouragement to them.
You know, I would from doing all this work for the last 2.5 years, people really have to work together. I know Norfolk has always had a problem with Columbus, but if we collaborate, couldn't we be so much better? And that's what I notice in these smaller towns. Stewart helped Spencer and Spencer helped this. So I just think it's working together is going to make a big difference.
I remember a gentleman, he no longer lives in the state, but he was a faithful participant of HomeNE, and he lived in McCook. And so he got so curious about what Stewart was doing. He took a day and traveled to Stewart and spent time with John Madsen and drove around town listening to what Stewart had done over the past 20 plus years at that time. And so we can't afford to think locally as much as maybe we did in the past. So thank you. Well, thank you, Denise.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, we're going to start to conclude here, but I greatly appreciate what you've done and your presentation today. So, as I mentioned, as we started, we wanted to circle back to my question. So how is HomeNE doing in achieving our purpose? A year or so ago, I heard this quote on a podcast that feedback is the breakfast of champions. And so I'm shamelessly using a couple pictures of a couple grandkids there to emphasize the champion aspect. We want to be the best that we can be in serving you as a statewide learning network. And so we want to hear from you. We want stories. We feel that stories is the best way to convey information. We want to know how we can be a better learning network for you as well. So check out my email address there, as well as Sharon's, who is our executive director and the visionary for HomeNE, and just let us know. Give us your feedback. We're okay if it's neutral or negative. We want to learn and become the best that we can be as well. And so next month we will convene again on the third Thursday, which is April 16th. And we are doing something that we sometimes do, not often, but we thought it was an appropriate time to revisit what's happening in Blue Springs, Nebraska. So Rex Adams, he's kind of the central core of a nonprofit volunteer organization called One Property at a Time. Rex spoke in March of 2023, I believe, about what they were doing to clean up Blue Springs. And so he's going to come join us again. He's now retired, and so he has time on his hands, he told me, and he's going to give us an update of what's going on in Blue Springs. And as Denise shared today, several of our HomeNE webinars of the past are available on our HomeNE.us website. So you can go and actually Ben Conover, she mentioned him. He has spoken twice, and he talks about the upper story living that renovations that he's done. Petersburg was one of our first ones, I believe. And so they spoke about what they were doing. Obviously, Angela from the Spark Academy, as well as David Branch, have been recent speakers as well. So check out HomeNE.us, and you can actually search by those names or other things that may have been of interest to you and check out. We have over 80 webinars now to our credit, so you'll find a lot of great information there. And so Denise, your presentation will be up in the coming days, so if somebody has missed something or wants to know more about what you said, they can go revisit this webinar as well. So okay, so once again, thank you, Denise. Thank you, Sherry, for navigating as well. And you don't often get credit, but she is the logistics behind what we do here on the third Thursday. So any last thoughts from anyone before we conclude?
Thank you for allowing me to share.
You're welcome. So anytime. So, and Bev says you gave great information. So with that, have a great rest of your afternoon and go enjoy some sunshine. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.